Unified for better health. The impact of digital health on team-based patient care.
Oh, hello everyone. So I'm Arber Shehu. I work for AstraZeneca. And today we're going to talk more about big picture because we don't have much time. Before I jump in, on my way to the airport in DC, a taxi driver, he was asking me, like, where are you going? And I told him, like, I'm going to Malta to present. And he asked me, like, what are you going to present? And I said, like, the impact of digital health. Back. Okay. So I said the impact of digital health on team-based patients' care. And he told me, like, you doctors are complicating things. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, okay, let me keep it simple. How we can be united for better healthcare. So here I was listening a lot of stories, a lot of innovation and exponential growth in innovation in different sectors. However, of course, sometimes in this presentation, I'm going to play a devil advocate a little bit. So before I jump to this topic, me and my friend Shrill from AstraZeneca, last week we were in Philadelphia organizing a huge conference, internal conference. And then when we started to plan about this conference, it was my first time meeting him in Teams, and so like, hey Shrill, let's meet in person. And then okay, let's meet tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and where we're meeting at Starbucks. So he went to a Starbucks at our company, and I went to a Starbucks in our company. It's like, where are you? It's like, I'm in a Starbucks. It's like, yes, I'm in a Starbucks too. It's like, no, you're not. It's like, yeah, I'm in Delaware. No, I'm in Maryland. Like, so this is the miscommunication between colleagues, and I hope, and I think actually that a lot of miscommunication between physicians. So during my time at Johns Hopkins 2 years ago, I was working in the clinical trials with the CDC, which we reported to the White House every 2 weeks about how much the vaccines are effective. And then it happened for me to meet with one of the patients who she was having some difficult breathings and so on. And finally, we diagnosed her with a pulmonary embolism. And then after a lot of treatments, she was discharged, she was readmitted. And in the end, she couldn't make it. Unfortunately, she passed away. After like a couple of consultations, a couple of like team-based decision-making, one of the very well-known physicians at Hopkins, he said to us, the biggest problem you guys had is not about the way that you treated, but the way that you communicated with one another. So then, after a lot of consultation, the idea was like, what about if we have digital tools that tell the physicians how to communicate better? So like, it will come a time maybe that we can integrate better this kind of digital tools and to save patients' life, to save that 51 years old lady's life, which she was in a perfect health condition except pulmonary embolism. So this is my disclosure. Let's zoom out the problem a little bit. As we all know, in the next 2 decades, the world will face more problems as well. But fortunately, we will rely on innovation, we will rely on smart people. For example, we'll have an aging population. We'll have chronic disease in developed countries, also in developing countries. We'll have growing or antimicrobial resistance. Like a few weeks ago, I was attending UNGA, United Nations General Assembly on Antimicrobial Resistance. And that highlight the importance of antimicrobial resistance, especially in developing countries. We will have problem on access disparity in developing countries as well. And then one of the key problems that United States and developed countries are facing is mental health issue, especially in the young generations. And also, considering the fact that we are still in kind of like embryonic stage, in my opinion, on digital health and artificial intelligence, digital health data, robotic, as well as generative AI in healthcare will have some challenges in the next 2 decades. When we talk about digital health, one thing we have to make it clear. By 2033, it is projected that the digital health market cap will be 1.2 or $1.3 trillion. This is huge. Not a billion, $1 trillion. As we all know, majority of us here, they have an Apple Watch, they have some wearable devices and so on. It will come more and more. And then, for example, there are a lot of apps nowadays, like especially in developing countries, that with a less amount of money, you can screen your face for like 30 to 60 seconds, and it can tell you exactly what is your hypertension. Just imagine one thing. You're going to the bus station, and you have a mirror, and that mirror, you press the button, they can screen for 30 seconds, and it tells you exactly what is your blood pressure. It tells you what is your pulse. And maybe some of the companies are working to tell you exactly if you're experiencing a stroke. You're going to the gym, you have that thing. You're going to the hotel, maybe they will have that. So this is happening. One of my friends innovated a company called Mia Vitals, which for 30 seconds you can screen your hypertension or pulse, or in the future even the stroke. Coming back to the big tech, I know that I see a lot of innovation here. 3 weeks ago, me and my friend Osama, who is here from Silicon Valley, we were doing some great innovation day in our company. And I was talking to Dr. Kapil, who is the head of the Google Health for a senior medical lead, actually. And he was telling me that the impact of the AI that we'll have in the cancer diagnostics, especially in the breast cancer, that will diagnose the breast cancer even faster than the human, like the doctors, the real doctors. Also, NVIDIA, with their model of BioNeoMo, are in a great platform of drug discovery. As we know, one drug to go to the market, it needs at least 10 years because a lot of research and so on. But now with the AI drug discovery, maybe this time we'll just go like in 2 to 3 years. Going back to the Apple Watch, as we all know, as well as Amazon Health. That's where they're having a great platform with Amazon One Health. Let's go back to the academia, because now we are talking a lot about disruption, and I'm not hearing much about partnership, about collaboration. What the academic institutions are doing in this regard. I'm still affiliated with Johns Hopkins, especially with Johns Hopkins Venture Tech, which they are supporting around, for example, 150 startups, which they made like around $4 billion investment since 2014. Also, for example, Harvard AI tools are very helpful to diagnose cancer, as well as I said, and Google previously. And Stanford also has their healthcare, when they're integrating AI into the clinical workflow. In our meeting with some key stakeholders, they mentioned that the AI will not replace the doctors, but the AI will replace the doctors who they don't know how to use the AI. Now let's go back to the main topic. The role of the effective teaming or multidisciplinary teaming. We're having a lot of challenges in a biopharma when it comes to have some a board meetings, or advisory board or team meeting when the patient is suffering some different kind of cancers. Nowadays, this is the definition of teamwork based on the WHO in 2022, but I'm not going to read it. So in the past, I know that there are a lot of physicians in a traditional way of treating patients. They talked with one another, but now the team work, it's not anymore very static and stable in the way of people working interdependent with one another with a common goal. One of the professors from Harvard said now teaming is very fluid, is very dynamic, because we are living in such a very flexible world, very dynamic world. And then the multidisciplinary team is becoming a gold standard for cancer care, not only for cancer care, but beyond. So what is the role of that? Collaborative team from traditional to digital based. What does that mean? The biggest problem that we are having also in the healthcare system, I'm talking on my experience from Hopkins as well as here in AstraZeneca, is it is very hard when we educate physicians about the most recent data to move from the way of traditionally treating patients to more innovative approach. It's not because they don't want to learn, it's because they don't have time to learn. It is expected by 2035 in the United States we will have around 30 to 120,000 less physicians. We will have demand for physicians. So they don't have time. For example, 80% of cancer patients in the United States are getting treated by community physicians. And they don't have time. They don't have that kind of system of integrating all this kind of innovation that we are seeing here from you and people across the globe. So what is the goal of the multidisciplinary team? Is to provide more accurate treatment and recommendation based on the guideline. And then, how does the digital multidisciplinary team meeting work? As we know, in the tumor boards in the past, maybe they have the tumor boards only within the institutions, but nowadays in the United States, the tumor boards are beyond that institutions. You have folks from Harvard, from Hopkins, from Duke's, also from the Europe-based institutions who are meeting with one another in a weekly basis, not just to make the decision, but to see that that patient is being treated based on the guidelines from the both sides. And what is the role of the omnichannel strategy? As you may know, maybe some of you have a degree in business. Omnichannel strategy is very well known in the marketing. However, now in the biopharma as well as in the healthcare institutions, we are seeing the role of omnichannel, especially when we want all this kind of integrated the digital health strategy to put it in one. I'm hearing a lot of folks here talking about like phenomenal ideas, but the question is how we can integrate that. What someone from Kosovo, like I'm from there, when he got treated with the specific drugs, can get treated with the same way of treatment even here in Malta, or even in Germany, or even in the United States. We need that kind of integrated system, fully integrated system, not only like multi-channel strategy that will make a lot of confusion in the healthcare professionals, also in the patients. So for example, the omnichannel strategy will bring an example of seamless patient experience, as well as we are hearing here like personalized medicine, personalized care and real-time monitoring. So consumerization in this regard is very important. I'm almost there, sorry. And what are the challenges and the solutions? As we are talking a lot about data collections, but data privacy and security is very important. And one thing I wanted to highlight here, it is a must to have a collaboration between private sector and the government. Because government will build that infrastructure to protect the data, and the private sectors will build innovative ideas, will build the tool. If we don't have that kind of bridge between private and public sector, it is not very easy to implement all these tools in the healthcare system and beyond. And also, it will be hard to have like interoperability system. And as I mentioned in the beginning, the training and the cultural shift in the healthcare will be the major challenge in the next 20 years. And then as a conclusion, digital health and omnichannel strategies, enhanced team-based in decision, it is very important. The future actually, it's now of the digital health. And then the tech giants, also the startups, academic institutions should collaborate more in order to provide to the physician the best ideas and the best treatment care. And then, as I know, AI is paving the way for anticipatory medicine. So in the end, I was reading a book and I was just making some modification here. The more healthcare professionals connect to each other, the more brain power can be allocated to solving healthcare problems that haven't been solved anywhere. So that's the power of network, why we are here, and that's the power of collaboration that we all should do.